Vénéré et craint, mi-dieu, mi-démon, il règne en maître sur ce paradis aquatique. C'est ici qu'il entraîne tous ceux qui ont le malheur de céder à son emprise.
The one that got away, not if he can help it. Can a 200-pound jaguar hold a 300-pound snake? That's the question now. Lure the enemy in over his depth, then seize him in the muddy waters. Most creatures would see the danger developing and think twice before stepping into the trap, but not the jaguar. He doesn't care about danger. His blood is up, and he means business, and so he goes after the giant reptile. There occurs one bad moment when the cat seems terribly close to suffocation. His mate moves in to help, but before she can get into the fray, the male manages to break the stranglehold. Now he has the enemy out on dry land again. Its great strength, the snake is beginning to show signs of exhaustion. Its movements have become sluggish, and its reflexes slow. All it can do now is to try to protect its vulnerable head. Finally, death comes. The dreaded reptile lies limp and lifeless. The moment the enemy is disposed of, the jaguars ignore it completely.
rocky den hides many inaccessible crevices, and its perimeter is guarded by dense thorn trees. A lion or hyena will have to work hard to reach the cub. Manana leaves it safely concealed in the rocks. Hunt. But today, Manana's not the only. There is one killer that can breach the den's defenses. And it's moving in, whilst Manana's attentions are elsewhere. Hunt failed. Manana heads home. She gives a soft contact call for her cub. But there is no answer. Something is wrong. It takes only a second to recognize the killer. An African rock python, swollen with a cub-sized meal. Manana risks her own life as she attacks her cub's killer. The python retreats into the thorns. But Manana will not give up. At last, her patience pays off. The injured python finally makes a move. Manana is ready for the next round. She waits until it's clear of the cave. But there's no battle. A built-in reflex forces the snake to relinquish its hard-won meal. Under stress, pythons regurgitate their prey to shed the extra weight for a speedy escape. But Manana has abandoned. She's got what she came for.
After the python disgorged her cub, I thought Manana would go after that python and kill it. But there was no act of revenge. All she wanted was her tiny cub back. We tend to think of leopards as instinctive and animals without emotion. That is completely untrue.